We are here in Mankato at the premier soil health event, which is sponsored by the Minnesota Soil Health Coalition. Hey Troy, thanks for joining us today at the premier soil health event here in Mankato.
Sure, Stephanie, I'm glad to be here. This is considered the premier soil health event for the region, I think.
And the thing that I think is the most exciting about today is that Tuesday, December 5th, is World Soil Day.
That's a cool thing that I think is not always on the radar of the public. Everything we see around us comes from the soil. It starts there. Soil is the source of life.
Yes. The motto for this year's World Soil Day is soil and water, a source of life. So how appropriate.
Perfect.
Yes,
Perfect.
exactly. So when we think about World Soil Day, it's really to just, again, like you said, highlight to the public the importance of healthy soils, healthy functioning soils, and how important it is that we continue to advocate and promote sustainable management on our resource.
That is true. I mean, we as an agency, Natural Resource Conservation Service, along with our partners, Minnesota Soil Health Coalition, and many partners that are here today, spend a lot of time talking about how important the soil resource is to life. And this whole sustainability realm has just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger over the last few decades.
Later on today, we're going to be running the Rainfall simulator, and these soils, I collected them from a bunch of different management systems, and I'm looking forward to giving this demonstration to all of these farmers here. We have about 200 or so farmers that are attending this event today.
We're sitting in Minnesota and quite possibly some of the best soil on the planet Earth, if not in the United States. Rain and water and soil all go together. They all work together with the sunshine. It's all a big ecosystem, and we have to find our place in it and utilize that soil resource to benefit us and move us into the future.
Yeah. When we talk about soil health principles, what is your favorite soil health principle?
Covering the soil is important, but I'm pretty partial to putting that livestock or that grazing animal, because that's what our ecosystems in the United States came from. In almost every corner of the U.S., some type of large ungulate grazed our soil and built the regenerative properties in the ecosystem, and that's a key piece.
So it's livestock integration, huh?
Definitely livestock integration.
Favorite soil principle would probably have to be livestock, both the integration of above ground and below ground livestock, because it is important that we take care of the fungus and the microorganisms that are below the ground as well when we take all this into consideration, because they're working just as hard as the cattle or sheep that we have above ground. Our soil health practices include season-long grazing, rotational grazing of converted cropland. We do our best to have something growing on the land every day that we're able. Being in Minnesota, that's not 365, but we try for 270. We are no-till on soybeans, strip-till on corn. We do our best to minimize the disturbance of the soil whenever we can, but we're not quite ready to step away from precision nutrient placement quite yet. A lot of our season-long grazing is 15, 16, 17 species mixes that we use to rest our native pasture and our converted pasture during the more stressful parts of the year in August, September. And that gives us a way to take the cattle and have them work on ground that they might not otherwise see during the year.
When we talk about the soil health principles of minimizing disturbance, maximizing soil cover, living roots, or maximizing biodiversity, or livestock integration, what soil health principle is your favorite?
Livestock integration and maximizing diversity. Following our canning crops or our small grain crops is that opportunity for us to increase the diversity options of the cover type of seeds that we can use.
So what about minimizing disturbance? What about tillage and taking that tillage out of your operation? What are your thoughts about that?
It's saved me a lot of investment in capital, the machinery, fuel, time. It allows me to spend time doing other things that are profitable or even just more enjoyable. As a kid growing up on the farm, I loved doing tillage. It was a way to drive tractor, and now I absolutely hate it. Anytime I've had to go do it for somebody else. We don't till anymore. We are mostly all no-till, some strip-till. We try to cover crop every acre. One of the biggest things that we've taught ourselves is being patient with planting, because that's the easiest one to rush out and screw up.
I would have to say hands down, keeping something green growing on the soil. It just slaves me to see the tillage that's being done in the black, well, in a lot of cases, not black soil, it's degraded soil, so it's not black anymore. And I think it's so beautiful to see this time of year, especially after harvest, to still see green on a field. And it's holding the soil in place, and it's the beginning of the biology process to keep the soil in place.
Yep. Have those living roots pumping carbon, feeding those microbes, and also having those green plants. It just feels good this time of year to see green.
It makes me feel real good to see that.
Yeah, yes. Absolutely.
Probably the biggest thing to start with would be planting cereal rye to plant soybeans into, because cereal rye is the easiest cover crop in my view to grow, number one.
Yeah.
It's easy to plant soybeans into, and the earthworms love it. And it really puts your earthworm count on steroids. And what I'm hoping to see is, I hope I can reduce not only synthetic fertilizers, but the use of some of the chemicals that we're using now. That's what I'm hoping to understand. It's a resource that I don't know that we'll always have. So I'm trying to raise a crop that I can sell in the most sustainable manner. That's what I hope to see in the future.
Our role as caretakers of the land is to allow that soil to function and rebuild that health. We're all working together, and one of the things that I always like to remind people of is that as an agency, NRCS is here to support our farmers, also here to support our growers and our ag professionals. Our motto is to helping people help the land. I really think about that as working with farmers to restore and regenerate soil function and soil health in the landscape. What better way could I help a farmer than to help find ways to improve soil health on cropland?